Hello and welcome to Orchid. Today I want to show you how to make an Orchid account on the Avalanche blockchain. We love Avalanche. We followed Avalanche since its launch and we work really well on Avalanche. So, Orchid is a decentralized marketplace for bandwidth. We are a platform that enables an onion routing network. And basically, the VPN that I have open here on the right needs a way to pay for a random VPN node that it connects to in the Orchid network. And it does that using probabilistic nanopayments, which is our layer two. So what I'm going to show you today is how to take some of Avalanche from your wallet and put it into the Orchid L2. So to do that, basically you want to go to account.orchid.com. It's linked from our homepage. And then you're going to connect your Ethereum wallet. We really test with MetaMask and it supports Avalanche as well. So we recommend that. Once you connect your wallet, you're going to want to make sure you're on the right chain. So typically MetaMask is going to start on Ethereum. We have a chain selector here that lets you switch to Avalanche. It's going to give you a message saying that it's switching to Avalanche. And if you don't have the Avalanche mainnet C-Chain information, it will populate it for you into MetaMask. Now, unlike a lot of layer 2s out there, Orchid actually has its own set of L2 keys. So now that you have a connected wallet, the second thing that you're going to need is an Orchid identity. Orchid identity is just a name for the public address of the set of keys that's managed in the Orchid app. So on the right side of my screen here, I have an iOS device running Orchid. This obviously would work on Android or Mac OS, which are both operating systems we support. And this looks like a fresh install. So when you first open up Orchid, it's going to look like this. And basically what we're doing here is we're making sure that the Orchid app and the Orchid dapp are looking at the same account. And what is an Orchid account? Well, an Orchid account is not only the L1 key, but it's the L2 key. So an Orchid account, really, you need to tell the blockchain, when you look at the Avalanche blockchain, you need the information of both the funding wallet and the Orchid identity. So hopefully that makes sense. Let's jump into it. When you first look at the Orchid app, it's going to say, do you want to get started for $1 or do you want to import an account? You can just say, I'll do this later. Because what we're really going to do is we're going to fund an account. So we go to manage accounts, and here we can actually see the different Orchid identities that we have. If you hit the gear icon, you can actually make a new identity or export your identity to other devices. Really all we want to do is copy this Orchid identity into the dapp. Once you copy an Orchid identity, you'll get this warning reminding you that it is not a L1 Ethereum address. So never ever send Ethereum or Avalanche or any token to your Orchid identity because it is not an Ethereum wallet. It's now copied to my clipboard. There's a bunch of different ways you can get it over to the dapp. Right now I have the dapp running on Chrome on my Windows machine. So if you're on Mac OS and you have iOS, you can actually use the Magic Clipboard on Apple, which is really cool. Or you could just use a Google Doc, or you could paste it into Signal Note to Self. There's a lot of different ways. You just email this thing to yourself, but you are going to need to get this Orchid identity over to the dapp. I'll just paste it in here, and now you can see it goes right over. And now once I specify an Orchid account, now the dapp has zeroed in on a blockchain, an Ethereum wallet address, and the Orchid identity. So we can actually see here that there's no deposit and no balance. So the deposit is a interesting trait of the Orchid accounts, and the deposit is used for specifying the size of the tickets that you send. It's critical that you have a deposit that is of enough size that the account is going to be efficient enough. Now, efficiency is a metric that shows how much of your money is actually getting transmitted. So this is totally a payment thing. This has nothing to do with our VPN. Everything here in the dapp totally has to do with how your payments are being transmitted on this L1. So the larger your deposit, the greater your efficiency will be, because your ticket size will be correct. And you can read about that in our docs if you have any more questions on how that works. I don't want to get into that in too much detail. But one thing I will point out is when you look and you start to wonder, what should my balance and deposit be? We do have on orchid.com/join, we do have a handy dandy chart that loads and actually helps you understand what the different fees and minimum deposit and minimum balances are for a 90% efficient account. That means only 10% of the money that you're trying to spend would go to the L1 in gas fees. So for Avalanche, minimum deposit looks like 0.05 and a minimum balance looks like 0.1. So I'll go ahead and put 0.05 and 0.1 into the balance and deposit. You always want to have about twice the balance that you do as deposit. And when I hit this add funds, this is actually then going to move the money from my Ethereum, from my MetaMask wallet over to the Orchid account. This is all happening on the Avalanche C-Chain. So in a minute, this will update and the balance and deposit will be reflected. Now, the one thing to note is that the balance can be withdrawn immediately from this account once it appears, but the deposit is locked for a 24-hour cooldown period, and you'll need to warn the deposit before you can withdraw it. So here, as you can see, I could immediately withdraw my funds after I can unlock my deposit and then immediately withdraw my funds here. So that's how you can get your money out of the Orchid account. This account is 90% efficient and everything is looking good. So one thing that I will need to do is actually copy the funding wallet address over to the app. So I'm going to go ahead and copy that and then put this back in our handy dandy Google Doc. And then I can copy it over here on the app. Now to add this account, unfortunately, Avalanche doesn't allow us to scan its blockchain correctly so that we can discover this Orchid account that now exists. So we have to use the import account button and specify a funder address. And now I've simply pasted in the same Ethereum wallet that I used to make this account. So again, an Orchid account is an identity, and that's the L2 address and key set. And then the L1 address, we call that the funder because that's the funding wallet. And the funding wallet always can connect to this account and move the money in and out. So when you need to top up and add funds, you can add funds. If you needed to withdraw funds, you can withdraw funds. And this advanced tab is kind of nice. You can do everything there. So anyways, back in the app, if you look over here, the only other thing I need to choose is the chain. And now when I hit import account, There it found my balance, my deposit, and it actually has gone ahead and made a single hop Orchid circuit that is now paid using this Avalanche account. So if I go back, I can now connect once I enable the VPN. And voila, now I am using the Orchid VPN and paying with Avalanche. Now the providers actually charge in USD per gigabyte, so you can see that down at the bottom. I have about 30 gigabytes worth of service in this app. What's really cool to think about that's happening right now is that the L2 nano payments are being sent from this account that I just made on chain in the dapp to the provider for internet VPN service. So the VPN service is a pay-as-you-go model. So there's no, it's very trustless. I am not paying somebody $100 for a million years of VPN service. I am literally paying them per byte, and there's a payment going out every couple hundred kilobytes. And if at any time I don't think this VPN service is good, I can always disconnect. And then when I reconnect, I will be assigned a random provider that is due to our stake-weighted random selection algorithm, which is a core part of how Orchid works. And so every time I disconnect and reconnect, I go through that stake-weighted random selection, and typically I'll end up getting a couple different VPN providers. It really depends on how much OXT they have staked on the Ethereum blockchain. So I hope that is a great introduction to Orchid and helps you understand how Orchid accounts work and how you can actually make an Orchid account on the Avalanche blockchain denominated in AVAX. So please leave a comment, reach out to us, let us know if you found this useful or interesting. We'd love to see what you can do on the Avalanche blockchain using these Orchid accounts. Thank you.